I have gone 2 years without alcohol after drinking and escaping through alcohol for 20 years. And I want to tell you about it because maybe something here could serve you, help you, and because this journey is far more interesting, layered, challenging, rewarding than I ever could have thought. And perhaps a video like this could have served me throughout this journey. I always look for people who are maybe a few steps ahead of me for support through really hard times. And now I get to add to that, the pot of wisdom. So I'm going to fill you in on what I thought this journey would be like, what it has been like, how it's going, and what has helped in this process. So prior to quitting alcohol, I thought quitting would simply be avoiding the drink for the rest of my life. Once I made that decision to quit alcohol, I thought, that the game is simply avoid alcohol for the rest of your life and then you win the game. That's the game. That's the depth to it. Well, I found out that it goes so much deeper than that. Maybe I was the only one who didn't know, but it goes so much deeper than that. And I do find it funny that I didn't know that I could go deeper because when I was younger, I went to AA meetings because for a brief time I was in trouble with the court and the judge made me go to AA meetings when I was 19, 20, 21. And I would go and I would participate in conversations and listen to people talk about their challenges and struggles and finding God. And I would try to find God at the time and it didn't land because I was still drinking at the time. I was still partying and convincing myself I didn't have a problem. But it's like anything, until you do it, you don't know. You can read books and listen to videos and hear what it's like to go on the journey, but going on the journey, whatever it is different when you're actually on it, embodying the change. I've learned that's for sure. And it took probably 2 months of not drinking for my body to settle into the new reality. Prior to quitting, I would maybe take a day off, a week off, a month off, and then eventually drink again. Even if I said I was never drinking again, eventually I would go back, tension would build, and I would have a drink. And my body was used to that pattern because I said I was going to quit so many times and then would go back to drinking. Someone would invite me out and I'd go. So after about 2 months, my body realized, oh, okay, we're not going back. This is the reality. You're not escaping through alcohol anymore. Okay, let's have a look around. Let's see what's going on. What are we working with here? And that's when things started to come to the surface. And by things, I mean insecurities, trauma, pain, memories, fears, forgotten dreams, old relationships that fell apart, and even good memories too. Things from my life that I never processed, I never grieved, I never worked through, I ran away from, I avoided, I numbed. I tried to forget about and successfully did for a while, but apparently they were all living within me, in my mind and in my body, waiting for a time to come forward, to be addressed. They were all still there, even things that happened when I was 14 before I started drinking. Turns out you can run away for a long time, but everything is waiting for you. I think it's a good thing. Like, we always have the opportunity to grow, and those stories are not forgotten. And I know that can be scary. And it was, I'll be honest, it was very intense. The first year of sobriety, I cried so much. I'm just being honest with you. I cried a lot. Maybe hearing that will give some comfort to you because that's what I needed. I felt regret. I felt grief. I felt ashamed of my choices. I felt like I ruined my whole life. I'm late. I was 35 when I quit alcohol, by the way. I'm 37 now. I ruined my whole life. I can't get that time back. It's too late for me. I can't catch up. I can't get the things I want. I made terrible decisions. I hurt people. I lost relationships and burned bridges. All of that I became aware of. And you might think you didn't know before. I mean, I guess I knew before, but when you're constantly distracted by alcohol and drama and chaos and running from thing to thing, it's easy to avoid sitting with how things happened and your part in it. Yeah, I avoided looking at my role in my life for a long time. I blamed so many people forever about my life. It's not to say I was never hurt, but I did some things too, right? So much came to the surface, and I had to sit through it. And I did feel grief, and I moved through the stages of grief. I felt angry at how I chose to do things. I felt angry about how I was raised. I felt sad. I felt devastated. Devastated is the word. I felt devastated. I cried so much. I also felt high highs, like, whoa, I'm so grateful that I'm not drunk, that I'm not hungover, that I'm alive. I feel like that came up a lot, realizing I was playing with death so often, getting drunk, walking into dangerous situations, participating in dangerous relationships, like walking through the city at night, drunk in unsafe neighborhoods, just things like that. I'm like, wow, how am I still alive? That would freak me out. I would be startled to remember things I said or relationships I ruined. It was like all coming up to the surface, and I felt so awful. And I'll be honest with you, there were times it got so dark that I was like, I can't go on. I'm going to give up. I'm going to throw in the towel. I'm going to harm myself. I'm going to call it. That thought came to mind a few times. And nothing ever became of it, but the thought did cross my mind. And I actually don't even think that's uncommon when people get sober, quit drugs, quit alcohol. I just don't think that's uncommon. And I've learned that life can be hard sometimes. Feelings can be hard, especially if you never learned how to sit with them. But you got to keep going. You got to go through the discomfort, through the emotion, through the story, so you can free yourself from it instead of just avoiding it forever, because that's what I did forever. Avoided every semi-challenging thing that could possibly come my way. Growth, job opportunities, pursuit of dreams, or intimacy, or vulnerability. It was constant avoidance. Avoiding anxiety. Okay, I'll drink. Avoiding a hard conversation. Okay, I'll drink. Avoiding sitting with myself. Okay, I'll drink. Avoiding dealing with pain. Okay, I'll drink. Or I'll just make drama somewhere. So all of that came up for me when I quit, but like 2 months after I quit. My dog is over here napping. So that was a lot. And now that I'm 2 years and some change along, it's balanced out. But I had to work through a lot of it. And it made me realize that time doesn't heal all wounds, intention does. Because as if we've never heard of someone carrying bitterness or resentment for 50 years. Of course we have. People do it all the time. It wasn't time that healed the wounds from my past. It was me choosing to work through them. And I added to it a lot because I did so many regretful things through the years and drank for so long and avoided applying wisdom after reflection, after making a mistake. Mistakes are normal. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone does something hurtful to someone. But the responsible, intelligent thing to do would be to reflect on it, maybe make amends, grow from it, apply that new wisdom, and move on smarter than before. But I didn't do that for so long. So I had regrets. And people say, live with no regrets. And I love that. But I had regrets from the years I drank. I just did. But you can work through them. You can heal from them. And you can free yourself from those regrets. So since getting sober, since quitting alcohol, it has been a lot of learning things I never learned before that perhaps could seem basic, elementary, juvenile to someone else. And I get to learn them now. And this could look like hygiene, self-care, exercise, how to follow through on something, how to show up when things fall apart or when things don't go as planned, how to regulate emotions, how to master my emotions and use them to propel me forward instead of using emotions to destroy myself, how to dream, how to sit and dream and follow through on the dreams and pursue the dreams. These are things I never knew how to do. When you're avoiding for so long, when you're running away from life for so long, it's easy not to know how to do these things or to start learning and then kind of give up or run away when things get hard, uncomfortable, challenging. That's what I did for a long time. I was in a victim mindset for a long time. I ran away when things were ever so slightly uncomfortable. And now that I don't have alcohol in my life anymore, I get to learn all of those skills because these are skills. And sometimes I feel behind in life, and sometimes I feel like it's awkward because I feel like a teenager again, learning things that some people learned when they were teenagers. I feel like innocent in a way. I'm like, I didn't know these things. Like a big one that surprised me is realizing that when you have a dream, you need to show up for it again and again. I didn't know. I didn't realize that people were showing up so much for their lives. I just didn't know. And some people get mad and say, how did you not know? You should have known. Like, I did not know. I was running through chaos constantly, running away constantly, creating drama constantly. It was just noise in my life. And now that the noise is gone, I can see clearly, but I didn't see these things before. So there are some things that kind of shock me. I'm like, oh, wow, okay, this is what y'all have been doing. Nice work. You've built a nice life. Okay, I didn't know that. Now I get to learn it. It's a lot of note taking. Oh, this is how you pursue a dream. This is how you follow through. This is how you invest. This is how you make money. This is how you care for yourself. This is how you grow. I've learned that you really have to learn how not to compare yourself to people. Gosh, nothing is easier than comparing yourself to people once you've quit drinking and realize, you're in your mid to late 30s or whatever age and see everyone around you having all the things that you're supposed to have supposedly at a certain age, which is a made up thing. But you hear what I'm saying. It was probably easier for me not to compare myself to others when I was 21 because so often people are in an experimental stage of life. But at this age, I'm like, wow, I've compared myself a lot since getting sober. I have felt ashamed. I have felt embarrassed for my life and my choices. And I've had to learn, and I'm learning how not to compare myself. It literally sucks the joy out of life. It sucks the joy and energy out of life. And it's so easy to compare. Anyone could compare, even if you never drank. We have social media. It's easy to compare. It sucks the joy out of life. And it interferes with the growth that needs to occur now. What we have is now. Now is the time. It's hard. It's awkward. It's rewarding. It's layered. There are layers in my life. And even 2 years and some change in, I know I've only just begun. I've just begun. I just started. There's more to come. There's more layers. But it has gotten so much easier. Once I made it through, I'd say the first year and a half, it has gotten easier. The extremes are not so high and low. It's more balanced. I've learned how to better use my emotions when anger comes or sadness comes. But it's taken learning. I didn't know how. Thank God for the internet because there's so much wisdom and free tools that we can access at any moment in time. And I've needed a lot of them. I think many of us do. And it's so helpful. And thank God there's no shortage of information available to us. I would say I'm learning to surrender. I'm learning to have faith. I'm learning again and again to show up for myself in my life, to be a woman of my word, to do something when I say I'm going to do it for myself or for someone else. If I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And to move through even the uncomfortable things that will benefit my life. It is not always easy, but it gets easier. And I've seen put in the work and it pays off. And a lot of us, and you can tell me if you agree with this or not, who have drank or done drugs or escaped through drugs or alcohol, can perhaps struggle with delayed gratification. We want instant. Give me it now. I want it now. I want to get out of this discomfort now. I want to feel good now. I want relief now. I want the thing now. And if we don't get it now, we throw in the towel, we go drink or whatever, go on our phone, do something to run away or escape the discomfort, because things don't always happen instantly. And this is a big one, learning to delay the gratification. I've heard again and again experts say that success is, my dog, is linked to how much you can delay gratification. That's a fun one to work on. It's very challenging for me, but it's a muscle. It's a game. I can make it fun. Over time, it's become more fun to figure all of this stuff out. But in the beginning, for me, I just needed to release and cry and grieve, let go, kind of mourn things, throw a hissy fit about things, feel like crap about things, and move through it. And that helped make space for where I am now, which is, okay, I finally see that maybe I can build a life I know I can, that I dream of, that I can have things too, that I need to show up for it, that I'm capable of it, that I can achieve anything, that I can be a master of my emotions, that I can start late but still get to where I want to be. Moving through all those emotions and heavy things in the beginning made space for this. Things have balanced out. Things have gotten easier in a sense, or I'm stronger. Some things that have helped in this process are community, someone who gets it, because not everyone gets it. Not everyone wants to get it, is capable of getting it, but having anyone who gets it is helpful. Also having creative outlet, writing, making videos online has helped. Moving my body, exercising, meditating, praying, journaling, getting outside, being in the sun, training my dog, all these things that people talk about being useful and helpful are in fact that. It doesn't need to be the same for everyone, but all of these things that I just mentioned are helpful. The first year I blogged on Medium, and that helped. But finding what worked for me and actually committing to these things and doing them because it'll help me, and learning that I'm allowed to do things that will help me and I'm allowed to shine and be free too, and learning to have a mindset that helps me to do things that allow me to be free or help me to be free has been incredibly helpful along the way. And we all need different things, right? None of this is advice. But I wanted to share in case you needed to hear any of this. I know this is kind of all over the map. The ride is probably different for everyone. And I do find there's also a lot of similarities among people who quit alcohol. But it's different for everyone. I've talked to some people who quit and they're like, I feel good. That's really it. And I'm over here like, I feel like I just woke up. I feel like I just started my life. I feel like there were good times in the past and there were awful times, but I was like sleepwalking. And when I quit, I could see clearly everything, how I was acting, how I was being, how I wasn't being, how I was responsible for my life and am. I feel like I just started and it was earth-shattering for me. It's not like that for everyone. And I get to do what I need to do to take care of my life and how I feel. And I don't need to compare myself to people, even though it's tempting. For years, I did things that would hurt me. I thought I deserved that. And I'm learning how to do things that feel like love. It's all a learning process. And I hope we all can be like graceful with ourselves and forgiving and kind in this process of learning and unlearning and becoming who we were always meant to be, so we can shine and feel good and free and loving and happy and healthy and whole. Because that's what this is about. That's what it feels like it's about. I don't think alcohol is bad, but in my life, we had a toxic relationship. So I'm moving on. I've moved on. And there's green pastures and I'm in them and I want more of them. And I'm here to build something beautiful and I'm in it now. And maybe you are too. And it's good to be here. Thank God. So I think that paints a picture of what it's been like, how it's going. I see that the future is bright. Thank God. Wherever you are in the journey, you got this. Take care of yourself. Keep learning and growing and seek the help that you need. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below, or just post a cute emoji, and that's fine too. I could respond or make a video if you have questions. On this channel, I talk about some sobriety and also the body and stories about health. It's fun. I think it's fun. So subscribe, come along, come back for more. Take care of yourself.